Come, ye rascals and wholehearted lovers of life. Come, ye fretful or grieving souls who are not sure why you are here. Come, ye newcomers and old-timers and somewhere in-betweeners. Open your heart to the beauty of this day. Open your heart to the power of love in this world. Let us be one in that life-giving spirit. With all that we are, let us worship together. Come on, let's go to church. Welcome to the Church of the Diaspora on this blessed Sunday, the 13th day of the 6th month of the year of coronavirus. But who's counting? Welcome if you are watching in high def or in low def or have to keep rebooting your screen or your soul because it's so worn out. When glitches and hiccups happen, remember that the sacred dwells in the interruptions too. Welcome if you are old or young or somewhere in between, queer or straight or somewhere in between, doubting or believing, saint or sinner or somewhere in between. Welcome people of all color, all genders, all body shapes and sizes, all physical, mental, and emotional abilities and moments, because we are here and there and everywhere, yet somehow still together as one today. And friends, before we go and light our chalice, I have to share news with you about our friend and our brother, Brent Wilkes, that he died this past week. We'll be sharing more information about the celebration of his life as we get it. But for now, let us remember to share our love with Linda and his daughter, Erin, and with all those who loved him who feel his loss.
In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek.
Unitarian Universalist, the Church of the Open Mind, the Loving Heart, the Helping Hand.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading. We are a regional church serving communities north of Boston and, via the internet, Chatham, the Carolinas, Maine, New Mexico, and wherever you find yourselves today. My name is Al Murray. My pronouns are he, his, him, or they, them, theirs. I am a member of the worship arts team and the stream team. We're a group of congregants providing editing and technology assistance. Please send me a note if you'd like to participate in worship preparation and planning, or in assisting with our rapidly growing tech base, or even if you have a better catchy phrase name than the stream team. together with Hank, Sally, Mary, Melissa, Linda, Katie, and Trevor, we welcome you here today. Please read the information in the service description on our YouTube channel or on our website, uuredding.org, for information regarding our programming. And if you have received our newsletter, join us after the service for camaraderie and a chance to talk with and see, even if it's a tiny little rectangle, each other. We often read from our mission statement. UUCR is a welcoming place to nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, heal the world. We welcome all to join us. Or from our vision statement, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Redding is a growing regional church serving communities north of Boston. A vibrant and spiritual community, we welcome people of all ages, religious backgrounds, beliefs, cultural origins, differing abilities, political views, sexual orientations, and gender identity. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Redding is a welcoming congregation, which means we promote inclusiveness for everyone, including gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. But we don't often mention our relational covenant, a series of statements that define our relationships with and promises to each other. Our relational covenant says, we warmly welcome all. We nurture connections with people of all ages and backgrounds. We generously share our time, talents, and resources to build our spiritual community. We communicate directly with honesty, care, and respect, and listen with attention, patience, and an open mind. We support one another through our diverse spiritual journeys in times of joy and struggle. We embrace our differing perspectives, beliefs, and cultures. We forgive ourselves and each other when we fall short of these commitments and begin again with goodwill, presuming the best intentions. These three statements, together with our different beliefs and lives, guide us. There is a fourth set of words that we believe in and say at the beginning of every service. You belong here. Maybe only for this hour, although we hope you join us on our church lives throughout the year. You belong here and are most welcome.
Good morning, friends. I'm Sally Lieberman, and my pronouns are she and her. And we're coming together after the summer of 2020, a summer quite like no other. Today is our annual Water Communion Sunday. And in a few moments after our prayer with Katie, Reverend Hank is going to show you a collage, a video of collected photos and maybe some videos of you and church friends, church members, and extended family having fun with water, around water, and being with the people they enjoy in the places that are special to them. Maybe you went away this summer, maybe you stayed close to home. I hope you had some fun, and I hope things are going well for you. A water communion is a coming together of water. A communion is a joining of people or things. And when it's a joining of people, a communion is a sharing and a blending of ideas and thoughts and experiences. I've got a short story of a water communion. There was a deep, dark river, very deep, moving very slowly, and moving so slowly that there was time on the bottom for things to grow. This river knew reeds and weeds and water lilies. It knew mud. It knew gentle creatures that came to its shore at night like deer and moose. And not so far away from this gentle, slow-moving, deep river was a quicker river, a shallow, swift river that knew whitecaps and splashes and waves and sand that crashed and jumping flying fish and bear that came to catch those flying fish. And this river ran so fast, it knew the excitement, the frenzy really, of running, rushing toward the ocean. And there was a time when this really swift river met the gentle, slow-moving, deeper river, and together those waters joined, and the water itself then knew of bear and deer and flying fish and mud and weeds and reeds. And the water tumbled together into the ocean. And when that water met the ocean, all of the water then was salty and knew sea creatures and the inviting pull of tides, holding memory of mud and reeds and flying fish. And that was a water communion. That's our story for this morning. I would like to invite us to create a sacred space together wherever we are right now. And if you have a home kit, you may have already done this, or you might work right alongside us to create a sacred space for you to go to anytime and when you're coming to church. You don't need many things. I've chosen a cloth here to set my space. You could choose something special to you, or you could make one. I have a plate to capture some water and a pitcher to pour some water into this plate. It could be a bowl, it could be a cup, anything. This is a fancy church plate. I'd like us to take our attention to get quiet and still with our thoughts, to think of something that makes us happy, and to take something shiny, a gem that represents our happinesses. Put that in the water and let the water hold that. And now I'm going to think of things that worry me, things that make me sad. And I'm going to take a rock to represent those things and put those in the water. And watch the ripples. Now, I'm going to take a moment to think of all that I have to be grateful for. And I'm going to take a gratitude stone that is a little bit bigger than both my joys, my happinesses, and my worries and concerns. Thinking of all that I am blessed with, all that I have to be grateful for, I place that in the water. This water holds happiness, sorrow, and gratitude. And so do I. I hope you might do something like this to make time for your thoughts and your feelings. It's a really good way to take care of yourself. If you've found some stillness, let's hold on to that for a few moments. Now we're going to join Katie in prayer.
Good morning, friends. Will you join me in a time of meditation and prayer? Wherever you are, feel the earth as it supports you. Whether seated or standing or lying down, feel where gravity pulls your body, where your body meets the chair or the ground, and be aware of the path between that place and the earth. Perhaps the earth is supporting you through the structure of a building, or perhaps you are outside directly touching the ground. No matter where we are always held in the earth's embrace. Take a moment to hold in your awareness how you are supported by this community. Wherever you are, know that you are held in love and in care. Breathe in with me and breathe out. In this moment, embraced by the earth and embracing one another in love, we can be aware of our interdependence We know that nothing in the universe is truly separated from any other thing, and that we humans are embedded in a network of ties just as much as any other being. We are bound one to another. In this moment, we can be present to this truth and offer our gratitude. Just as water flows and changes, as raindrops merge with rivers and flow to lakes and seas, so do we move through our lives, always changing, always meeting and parting, always in a process of movement. Our lives hold joys and sorrows both, so our hearts always hold both gratitude and heartache. Today we hold in our hearts the people of California, Oregon, and Washington State as they suffer from catastrophic wildfires. We hold in our hearts the people of the Louisiana Gulf Coast in the aftermath of Hurricane Laura as they try to rebuild their lives amidst such devastation. Today we grieve the loss of Brent Wilkes. We hold in our hearts his family and his friends. We hold them as they and we feel the pain of this loss. We know that our hearts ache because we love, because our hearts are open and vulnerable. As we are present together in this moment, may we find courage to face the world with open hearts, though we may find heartbreak on our journeys. May we be aware of the love that holds us, so that we might be able to send that love out into a world that is in such need of loving. May it be so, and blessed be.
Well, we have never done water communion like this before. Then again, this water ritual was only created 40 years ago, which in a Unitarian Universalist context, I must admit, seems like forever. However, ours is a faith that is constantly evolving. And so today we do something new, a virtual water communion. Still, two things remain: water and us. Normally, we would all be together, symbolizing our unity as a community when we added our water together. This year, we've got photos and videos from a good number of us, which will have to replace our physical communion. Or it will still, but this communion we do will still represent a blending of our lives together. Water is both a symbol of life and a requirement for life. We think of all who are affected by the fires in our western states. We recognize that all living things are intimately connected to water. Today, we celebrate our water communion. We celebrate life, our life together. Come, let us celebrate.
are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain.
About 6 o'clock.
We are swimming in the
September
stream
1st.
together. Some in power
Beautiful
and
scene
some
out here.
in pain. We can worship
Mist
this
rising,
ground we walk
sun
on,
coming up.
cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced on the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together. Some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey, thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart. I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who've come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living in the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together. Some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of this we've been given to share. Happened with a sense life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing we've arrived. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together. Some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Swimming to the other side. Swimming to the other side.
Spirit of life, may this water be a sign and a symbol of your presence and power, for without water there is no life. Wherever this water is present and however it will be used in ritual, may this water be a reminder of the life-affirming power of our covenantal faith, our community, and the sacredness of each human life, and the power of love. May our gathering together this morning be a blessing for one and all. And like the waters that have here been intermingled, may our lives unify to form us into a new family, one of welcome, one of unity, one of faith and justice. May it inspire us to a year of hope and love and courage and faith. And may we walk this year full awareness as often as possible of the blessed ties that bind each to all. May it be ever so. Amen. I got a call from my sister saying that someone had driven their car into the hedge in front of my parents' house. I guess the person who was driving had a seizure. They were fine, but those bushes, my folks have been trying to do something with those bushes forever, and now they're gone. And my sister sent me a picture to prove it. Before the person had been taken away in ambulance, however, they left a note. They left it with the folks at the farm stand across the street. It was an apology and their contact information. Well, as soon as I heard, I called my parents, who told me a slightly different story than the one my sister had told me, about how a neighbor had to come by and tell them what had happened. They're both a little hard of hearing and thus didn't hear the crash out front. But as soon as my mom heard, she got up and got a glass of water. For some reason, she thought that the person who had been involved in an accident would have to be thirsty. She moves slowly. So by the time she arrived out front, the car had already been taken away. But she said that she gave a glass of water to a young woman who came over to speak to her. The story went on much longer than the accident must have actually taken, where it was a very exciting morning there in East Fairhaven. The next day, I called the person who had driven the car, and once again, they apologized and wanted to make sure that the hedge was repaired. I was just glad that they were fine. We chat, and I assure them that the next time I am down, I'll get the folks over at the farm stand to plant a new hedge, and all will be well. In fact, I've heard from this person a couple times just to make sure that I have all the insurance information and checking to see how the work is coming along. The following Monday, I did go down to my parents' house, and sure enough, that hedge was a mess. To be honest, it wasn't a traditional hedge. It was just an old fence was there, and my dad kind of let things grow up around it, and he never got around to fixing it or planting anything really important there. But it was a hedge nonetheless. I went across to the farm stand, and I spoke to the people there to get a quote for the repair to the hedge. I thanked the young woman behind the counter for always being so kind to my parents. She said, "Oh, I love your folks. You know, on the day of that crash, I went over there and I was looking at all that had happened, and don't you know, but your mom came out and she gave me a glass of water. And you know what? I was very thankful for that because I was very thirsty at that point." She is such a dear, always being nice and thoughtful about how other people are. We are living in a very weird and challenging time. We are not sure where we stand, and we sure don't know where we are going. One person has called this a liminal season, a threshold space. One thing has ended, but a new thing has yet to be born. We are betwixt and between, neither here nor there. It's not a comfortable time. In fact, it is quite painful for many of us. A lot of grief, anxiety. Everything that we thought we knew about is not that way any longer. That is frightening. So what do? We want long-range goals or plans because they make us feel in control. They make us feel secure and comfortable. But the truth is that it won't help because we don't know how or when we'll come out of this time. And we don't know who we will be or what we will need when we do come out of that time. I have to be honest and tell you that I have no idea what will happen next. But we can ask ourselves, what is the next right, faithful step for us to take? We have to discern what that is, and then we have to take that step. And after we take that step and we learn from it, we then think about what the next right, faithful step is. We take that one. This is how we are going to live into this new future. And we also have to be kind to each other. We have to leave notes, apologizing when needed. We also need to give each other glasses of water. And remembering that even though we don't know where we will end up, we will all be there together. And that's pretty good.
In trying to mix up our standard call for offering, I looked up the definitions of offering and offertory and struck gold, so to speak. Offering is simply a contribution given at a religious service, that which has been offered, a sacrifice, something put forth, bid, preferred, or rendered. Offertory is the anthem performed during the collection of and preparation of the gifts, specifically during the Christian rite of Mass. I found this great quote from the book Religion and the Decline of Magic from 1971. Even the coins in the offertory were accredited with magical value. There are numerous popular superstitions about the magical value of communion silver as a cure for illness or a lucky charm against danger. This is great. We make a small sacrifice of time or money. We prefer it to the church while we get to listen to wonderful music, and it gets changed into the magic that keeps our church running. This is why we keep a weekly offering, to keep the magic happening. There are many ways of giving to this magic. Through your bank, you can set up a weekly or monthly donation. By mailing a check to the church at 239 Woburn Street, Reading, or going to our website and clicking on the donations page. Since November 2019, UUCR has given away half of the money received in the weekly collection plate each Sunday to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. It is a simple yet powerful way for each of us to help heal the world. Due to the congregation's generous response, even in the midst of the global pandemic, we have donated over $10,000 to 9 worthy causes through Share the Plate. Truly awe-inspiring. Our Share the Plate recipient for September is UU the Vote. UU the Vote is a non-partisan UUA initiative to engage our neighbors, educate our communities, mobilize voters, and rally around key ballot initiatives. All through 2020, the UUA is supporting congregations and UU organizations in activating thousands of Unitarian Universalists to mobilize for electoral justice at the local, state, and national levels. The stakes couldn't be higher in the 2020 elections. Directly or indirectly, the issues so many of us care about, climate change, LGBTQ rights, immigration, racial justice, and more, will be on the ballot in 2020. As progressive people of faith, we can seize the opportunity that the current electoral cycle offers to fight for our values, counter voter suppression, expand democracy, and engage in spiritually grounded, values-based issues conversation with other voters in our own communities. In this political moment, UU is a call to join forces with all people who wish to organize our communities and our nation to vote love and defeat hate. To learn more about UU the Vote, please go to uuthevote.org. That's uuthevote, one word, .org. While you donate, please indicate if you wish the full value of your offering to go to your yearly pledge, or if you do nothing, your offering will be equally shared with UU the Vote. While we listen to the offertory music, please give generously to our virtual Sunday Share the Plate offering to support both the mission of UUCR and UU the Vote.
Melissa Martin, the Member Services and Volunteer Coordinator here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading. My pronouns are she and her. This is the part of the service where I warmly invite you to become more deeply engaged in our congregational life. All of the details of what I'm sharing with you today can be found in this week's newsletter. Welcome to the 2020-2021 church year. While this ingathering may look different from past years, the essence of who we are and why we're here together remains the same. As I kick off this, my 8th church year with you, I am more committed than ever to help deepen your connections to this faith, this church, and one another, and to welcome our new visitors to join us in our mission. Our worship theme this month is renewal, and it offers us an opportunity to be in relationship with one another in new ways. In order to do this successfully during a pandemic, it also requires us to be flexible in how we think and feel about developing our new routines and norms. I'm so happy that technology allows us to stay connected, and I'm committed to helping each of you stay connected through any means available to us. One new way that we'll be connecting this year is through pod-based ministry. A pod is a small group of UUCR households who are assigned to each other to more deeply connect to one another and our shared mission this coming church year, with resources and guidance provided by our church staff. Please read about it in the newsletter this week and sign up to be added to a local pod by September 20th. This week, look for the return of staff-led fall programming. New offerings will be added in the weeks to come, but for this week, in addition to our Tuesday morning meditation with Andy First, there are regular opportunities to connect with the staff during social hours on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And our amazing choir is back singing together virtually on Thursday evenings. So if you're interested in learning about any of these opportunities, please look in the church newsletter. All congregants are reminded that we'll continue with our online social hour after each Sunday service, and the Zoom link has been updated, so please go through the church newsletter to register in advance just once for this weekly gathering. New friends are invited to join the new visitor welcome with me, Melissa Martin. It's today at 11 a.m. after this Sunday morning service. This social hour is specifically for our new visitors and friends, where I'll be available to answer any of your questions about UUCR, and you can get familiar with me and one another. New visitors can register in advance for this meeting using the link in the description below. Thank you for being a vital part of our congregational life.
May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never pry about these windows. May the roar and rain go by. By faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. This hearth, though all the world grow chill, will keep you warm. Peace will walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner blooms into a shrine. With laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
Friends, join me as we extinguish this chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts. Our worship has ended, but its gifts remain. Tuck its praise inside you. Take its goodness with you. Drink from its wells a lasting peace. Live by its light, its courage and grace, and don't be afraid. Seek to serve. In plenty or want, find ways to share. Discern the truth and tell it. Resist all wrong and don't be afraid. Regard all people as your people. In hard times and good, take care of yourself, take care of your people, and do not be afraid. And may the blessings of life, diverse and manifold, be ours today and every day to come. Our worship is over, our service begins. Blessed be, and amen.